Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the Gerber Strong Arm. This knife has been on the market for quite some time. We're going to see if it still can compare with a lot of the other choices on the market now today, especially at this price point. So I'm going to go over some of the specs and we'll do the review itself, so stay tuned. Right, so this is the Gerber Strong Arm. You know it, you love it. It's been on the market for like 8 years now. It's crazy. So it has a 4.8 inch blade, so definitely the perfect size for like a basic field knife, do it all. 420 high carbon steel, so definitely not it's not going to have the best edge retention, and you're going to have to resharpen it pretty regularly if you do use it a lot. But overall, you can get a nice fine edge on this. I've been working on this one. Do have a nice edge on there. You do have a drop point design on there. Saber grind, nothing to write home about. I mean, definitely overall pretty good, especially with that belly you've got on there. Moddie compatible. You have a polymer MOLLE compatible sheath. The total length on this guy is just under 10 inches. Weighs only 7.2 ounces, so not quite in the survival knife category, but definitely in the category of a camping / field knife. The cool thing is you do actually get a full tang on this guy. It goes all the way through. You have a little glass breaker there on the end with a rubberized handle. They come in, I believe, 2 different colors. You have black, and this is coyote tan. So definitely not too bad. Made right here in the USA, in Portland, Oregon. The price on these guys, unfortunately, have risen in the last few years. They're going to be between 80 and 100 bucks where you can find them. So definitely a lot more than when they came out back in 2015, 2016 for like 50 bucks. The Rockwell is going to be between 55 and 57, so not super strong, but it's not going to be super rigid either, so you're not going to have to be worried about snapping off the tip or anything. Let's get into the review. We are going to start off with some basic paracord cutting. Shouldn't be an issue for this guy. Boom, right through that like butter. That's crazy. Awesome. Let's try that one more time. Got a little bit bigger of a piece here. Just super quick, very slicey. You do have that saber grind on there. Good secondary edge. I mean, no complaints so far. I mean, just the belly on that. That just, man, I hate when Gerber does the serrations and all that, but man, I think they finally got it right with this. We're gonna try hemp rope now, so let's get into it. So hemp rope is extremely strong. You can use it for fires, you can use it to build shelters, all kinds of crazy stuff. So let's see how the Gerber Ghost Strike does with it. Oh, having some issues. Really does not want to cut through there. Oh, just barely got it. Man, not every knife can cut through that stuff. Definitely the better way to be doing it instead of going like that is just take it on the ground and slice into it. Definitely be the way to do it. Next thing we're going to do is try the cardboard test. This isn't really applicable for most field knives, but I just like to try it just to see if they can get it done. First, we're just going to see how it can pierce. Definitely takes a little bit of work, but man, that point, especially with that swedge, you can get right in there. So if you have to use this to defend yourself, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue, but God forbid you do, right? All right, let's cut through some cardboard now. Board cutting here. This is some thicker stock cardboard. For whatever reason, it's not wanting to bite in there too much. Not too bad though. Definitely gets it done. You just need to put some pressure on her. All right, let's move on to some wood chopping. All right, we're gonna try some basic chopping. This is a pretty big piece of wood. We are gonna see if we can get her done though. Boom. Definitely took a little bit of work, but man, that strong arm right there can really do that. I mean, that's not a small piece of wood either. This is some really dry hardwood, so it's pretty impressive. Let's try it one more time. One thing I love real quick, take a pause, is it gets a really good bite in there. I mean, that saber grind on there really lends itself very nicely to tasks like these. Not noticing any hot spots really, which is nice. I will say one that maybe give me a hot spot here in a little bit is down here towards the end of the tang. But if you got your little lanyard loop hole right there, you can put some paracord around your wrist so you can just wrist flick the heck out of this thing. Making wood chips after barbecue. Finally got that last piece of wood chopped. It was taking a minute. As you can see, that's a pretty thick stock of wood in my hand for comparison. I mean, definitely not thin by any stretch. Checking the edge on this guy. Not noticing any real dings, surprisingly enough. I mean, it's still cutting into my skin a little bit, so still pretty sharp. Let's move on. So final thoughts, right? This is still an excellent knife. This is the first example I've ever actually owned. I acquired this through a trade recently with a good friend of mine. He wanted a crossbow I had, so I decided to give him that, and he gave me a few knives. So we're here doing this video. I'm pretty impressed, though. Something I like about this from the aspect of, you know, a field knife, especially someone who's in the military would love having something like this that's not particularly great at one thing, but it's good at many things. I think that's really what makes this blade stand out. And man, it's just a solid blade. I mean, it's been hit or miss with Gerber over the last few years, but this Strong Arm, I'll tell you what, it just feels good, especially with the sheath too. I'll take the sheath off and look at this sheath. I mean, you've got a belt loop. It's ambidextrous. You've got more lashing points than you can think of. It's MOLLE compatible. I mean, just there's so much going on with the sheath. It's amazing. For the $80 to $100, I mean, you can probably pick these up on a sale or something for maybe a little bit less than that, but not bad whatsoever. I'm a big fan of the two-tone, the coyote, and the black finish. 420 high carbon. It is not a super steel. You're gonna have to sharpen it a lot if you're beating up on it like I've been doing. But you can get a really good edge on this, especially if you're gonna be using this in more of like a tactical environment, carrying this overseas, or as a law enforcement officer, getting a little bit of a wider edge so you can maintain the tip or the edge on it for a while longer. Might be something you want to look at. You do have that little glass breaker here on the end. I've never used it. I don't have any glass to break. But you know, the good thing about that, doesn't really protrude that much, so it's not like ugly in some of those like tactical knives you see at the, you know, for like $5 or $10. But I love that it's still American made. Big problem we were running into with Gerber is they were making all their stuff overseas and the quality was suffering. Now, competitive options for these, you do have some of the SE offerings. I forget which SE, it might be the 6, and the Becker BK18 as well, around this price point, and the Mora Garberg. I don't own any of those knives to show as examples. If I did, I would, but they all do relatively the same thing. I think, though, for overall, this isn't a bad deal. You know, $80. I mean, this knife, if you take care of it, it's gonna last your life. Definitely nothing wrong with this. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I don't really get excited about too many knives anymore. I mean, it's pretty much all the same nowadays, at least the stuff that I pick up. But this, man, because I've always wanted one. I've seen some reviews over the years, and like, oh, that'd be a cool thing to have. So when I acquired this, I was pretty excited to get out here and review, and I'm pretty stoked. The fit and finish is great, and I've had a really good time filming this for you guys. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you have not already. Like, share, comment. You know the deal, and I will see you beautiful people on the next episode.